Previously on PolyArmoury.
First, I'm bored. I'm looking for the family songbook. In there is a small-ish leather-bound book.
Is this it?
You hold it up, and the dwarf looks absolutely elated. That's it, yeah. Thanks so much for the lift. It's been so helpful. And slides off into the crowd. You notice that the woman in the burgundy dress is holding the songbook that Ferris was looking for.
I'm kind of curious why you have my friend's book there.
We bought this fair and square.
Yeah, this was a very fun night, but I'm having a real feeling that, like, we have some valuable stuff and we did do our job, and, like,
Oh, shit.
the longer before we go back, the more chance we fuck this up.
You notice that you're getting much, much closer to the cart you saw departing just ahead of you. From the back of the cart, that it is actually a tasty rat cart. All of a sudden, you hear a familiar shout, "Valerie, help! I just help!"
Fuck if this is a wonderful opportunity to liberate Tasty Rat. Let's go get that gnome back!
I want to cast Unseen Servant.
You cast Unseen Servant and send it off towards the front of the store. And after about 10 minutes, you're getting quite concerned about where it's gone. And you realise you don't have any proper sense of it.
So it seems to have just stopped existing. Right before we storm in, I want to cast a Mirror Image.
They're semi-transparent, and they have a really low frame rate.
Valerie, something's really up. I really don't think we should do this.
Shit.
If we do this and it fucks up, this is on you. Something is up with me and I'm not comfortable.
Okay, you shoot him in the face, he rears back, and you use that opportunity to wrench the double doors open.
I'm going to cast Web into the room.
I want to run towards the bugbear that's nearest that machine down the end.
Okay, so you're going to run through the webs. You are trapped in the webs.
Run away!
It's alright, we can come back from this. Spits out blood. Ah!
The bugbear moves forward again, attempts to strike Brilmara.
That takes me down to 0 HP.
Oh, fuck. I whip my sunglasses off and say, sorry for the inconvenience. We're having a liberation.
Some of the goblins are looking about ready to start smacking some people up.
Do you want to come with us and get out of here?
You know what? I'm not at all happy with what's happened here.
Are you ready to fuck this place up?
I'm ready to take these fuckers out. I think there's enough of us now.
Fuck it, let's try.
You see across the way directly there appears to be a staff toilet, and coming out of there is another bugbear. The gnomes rush him, and the three of them just jab him straight in the chest with the javelins they've taken off of the bugbears.
Do his trousers fall down as they do?
Yeah. And he trips over them and into the goblins, so he almost lands impaled on the javelins.
Oh, that's fucking brutal. Gonna shoot him in the fucking head. I'm loving this crossbow right now.
And there's just the little tiny bit of feather just poking out from his nose. He starts grabbing the front and back of his head because there's just no way to really get a grasp on it.
God, isn't it so painful when you get it up the nostrils? Poor
I'm
fucker.
going to attempt to drive the arrow further into him using the Morning Star with just one big, basically like a golf swing of the Morning
Swing,
Star.
bada, 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 swing! He just collapses on the floor, and just, it's surprisingly ungory. Just a tiny amount trickle of blood just starts to roll out of his nose, but there is no life left in there.
In giant red font, location liberated flashes up.
I was going to suggest that perhaps a red flag rolls down from the walls, and suddenly...
Obviously!
Plays Hoculus.
Oh, no, go.
Oh.
Talk to the gnomes out there. We have no intention of doing that.
I guess you could say we're all comrades here. Do you have the fearful shake?
Brilmara is having a bit of a realization that maybe there was more to what went on after taking Purple One than she perhaps really anticipated. My magic exists because I made a pact with a beautiful, lovely Eldritch god that eats nightmares. The realization being the Purple Worm doesn't just, like, not give people nightmares in isolation now. No more nightmares means no more food for Dendar, means, oh god, I fucked up.
You start to look across your body and you notice that many of your tattoos have really started to fade.
The tattoos are falling off.
Oh no, they really are falling off. It was foreshadowing all along.
Except one. One tattoo is still very visible.
In this fried rat restaurant. No bosses, no managers, no unequal distribution of profits or benefits from working in this establishment. This will become Madame Valerie's Fried Rat Cooperative.
Fighting death and human horse, Thorson tried to kill them all. They escaped the vile moor. Now PolyArmoury store. PolyArmoury.
That's fucking amazing.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Stone Monkey Radio's roleplay series, PolyArmoury. I am Jane Magnet, and I am the mistress of this dungeon. Joining me today to be spanked until they scream the safe word, which today is illustrious, are Laura Kate Dale
Hello.
and Astrid Johnson.
I ordered a pair of really fancy neon sunglasses and they were supposed to show up today and it still says they're out for delivery, but they're not here yet and I'm very upset.
Well,
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I really wanted to buy some tacky neon sunglasses this past weekend, and I couldn't find any, and I almost forgot. So I'm gonna, after this show is done, I'm gonna Google tacky neon sunglasses.
If you want,
How
I can send you a
tacky are
link
we
to the ones I got
talking?
on Amazon Prime.
I kind of want some neons. Here's the thing, I don't look good in sunglasses, so I'm thinking I just lean into that and get some sunglasses that would look good on nobody, so it looks like it's like a deliberate thing.
That's exactly what I was thinking of
I
mine.
kind of want to get like glowing neon shutter shades where they're like LED neon circle around the shutter
I shit
shades.
you not, that's exactly what I've ordered and I can send you a
Oh.
link because they have a bunch of different colours. Yeah.
so your shutter shades have lights on, Astrid.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what I want to get, is
It's
like
great.
light up shutter shades.
so good.
I think the
I
three of
don't
us should
really-
go to a rave sometime.
Oh, we should.
Just like last
shouldn't we?
episode. Well, episode
I
before
will
last,
admit,
rather.
I ordered them for video stuff, but also because raves.
I'm raving. What's everyone been up to?
I have had a very slow day today because my brain wasn't working. I was trying to write about Wolfenstein, a video game in which you shoot Nazis, and my brain was being a bit slow. So, to try and like get my creative juices flowing, I spent some time building a Gundam model.
Nice.
Yeah, building a tiny little plastic robot who now has arms and legs and a head. And tomorrow, if I got some time, I'm going to make a little stand for him and give him some swords and some like wings.
Sweet. Is that the one
Yeah.
you got at Macomb?
At
This
Macomb,
past weekend?
MCM in London. Hello to anyone who I said hello to at MCM this past weekend. I like to, if I can afford to, get myself a little Gundam model twice a year when I'm at MCM, and I'll sit and make it afterwards as my sort of like, oh, I had to come back from the convention. It's okay, though. I have a little treat for myself, so I'll... You know, I spent maybe 15 quid on this little tiny model kit, and I've just spent some time today putting it together.
Nice. It all starts with Kinder eggs, then they just evolve into bigger and bigger plastic models.
Exactly. It's a Kinder Egg with considerably many more pieces.
Nice. Astrid, what's occurring?
Hello. Well, at MCM, Macomb, we've got to get this pronunciations right. I was on a panel run by London Gamers about LGBT representation in video games.
I know.
That was a lot of
I
fun.
recorded an audio version of it.
Hmm?
I recorded an audio version of it. I'm going to write about it at some point.
Oh, did you?
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, I didn't know this.
This is what happens when you don't know who's in the audience.
There should be a video version going up at some point. I think it's going to be a little while, but stay tuned in the space. You can also go to MYM Buzz and read words that I said written by someone else, which is a really weird feeling, and get a basic summary of what happened.
Once upon a time, I used to write there.
Oh, that is that.
Yeah.
I do believe that's where you got your
Buzz.
snazzy ass username from.
Yeah, that is where the buzz in my Twitter username came from. That is the first place that offered me writing work. I started at mcmbuzz.com, which then launched MYM magazine, which I also wrote for, and then the branding kind of circled back, and it became MYM Buzz.
And now
Big
you are
weird
Lorak
circle
Buzz.
of brand. Yeah, the weird circle that gave me the buzz in my name.
Nicey.
Excellent.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was really good. I also asked everyone I could there. If they thought communism would win, spoiler, most of the people said yes, which was wonderful.
Glorious. Yes, and
What have you been up to?
I have been playing an awful lot of Switch. I went to Macomb with the two of you and
yeah.
Thrall, and we had a lovely time all together. It was
And
nice.
you've been playing some of that Mario.
I've been playing a lot of that
yeah.
heckin' Mario.
How are you finding that heckin' Mario?
I am really enjoying it. I think the last Mario I really, really enjoyed was 64. I didn't really get on very well with Sunshine. Galaxy, I thought was okay. Galaxy 2, more of the same. But
This seems to be the prevailing thought. Like, I was chatting to our mutual friend Jim the other day. You can hear this conversation on a podcast called Polquisition. He felt very much the same. Like, he's not really been into 3D Marios in a while, and he really got into Odyssey.
just because. Also, I was rather happy that at the Halloween... This episode is going up a week after the event, so don't worry. But Halloween on Tuesday, I won a competition at work. I came second place.
You had a spooky outfit.
Yeah, I looked
Very
like
spooky.
I went as a drug hallucination, so I wore my fractal pattern onesie and a prosthetic that I glued to my face that made it look like I'd blasted it off and it was just peeling back and showing the bone. Covered
Pretty
myself in
fucking
blood.
brutal.
It was wonderful.
It was so great.
I think there's pictures
you-
on my Twitter.
You won some vouchers
I
that
won 100 quid.
you're using to get some Switch games and the such.
Yeah, I got Axiom Verge and Puyo Pop and Puyo Puyo and Tetris. And what else did I get? I pre-ordered Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah. Nice.
I hope that will be good because I've never played a Xenoblade game, but I like.
I've enjoyed both of them so far. Like, they are good, lengthy RPGs. If you're wanting to sink your teeth into an RPG, it should be good.
I've not played a JRPG in quite some time. Not one I've really got into.
Hopefully this is the one, then.
Hopefully. Because Final Fantasy IX was a long time ago. I played Final Fantasy X, didn't much care for it. Played for 12. I played Final Fantasy 12. Got to the, like, that, you know, that last bit towards the end of any Final Fantasy where it's like, I'm going to do a bit of grinding now. Quite a lot of grinding now. And maybe clean up any of the little side quests. I got as far as that with 12 and just went, yeah, I don't need to kill a bunch of Mobras.
Yeah, that's fair
I
enough.
don't need that in my life. So, moving on. At the end of last episode, you had gloriously liberated
Yes, it was so good.
a restaurant that sold people meat.
I mean, that
Masquerading
aspect
as
of it
rat.
wasn't good, but the rest of it, the liberating bit, that was so good.
I
had a good
remember
time with
that we were very cavalier about the way that we informed them that they'd been serving people meat.
Oh god, yeah, because they didn't know. Oh,
Didn't know. A few things to clean up from last episode. We mentioned that you found 1,000 gold in the safe, but then you also mentioned that this was becoming Madame Valerie's tasty rat cooperative.
Yeah.
So, the 1,000 gold, are you keeping it? Are you ploughing it back into the business?
I'd say that's a pretty good business investment, honestly.
Okay. So there you are. You have your 3 gnomes that you've rescued twice now. You have a bard with a familiar accent and the 3 goblins that were working the counters. Anyone you want to talk to? Anything you want to do before you... I don't know. Actually, what do you want to do now? What's the plan, everybody?
I mean, I suppose we could start off with talking about how we've leveled ourselves up.
Oh yes, you have.
Oh,
leveled
yeah.
That was an
I felt
exciting
you deserved that.
development.
Should I start, as I've got
Yeah.
my stats here to the ready? So, at level 4, Brilmara gets an ability score improvement, which is going to be +2 to Charisma, which works for a lot of the things I do. Charisma is my spellcasting stat. It also affects things like persuasion, deception, performance comes up. Basically, a lot of the cool things I like to do
are wrapped up with charisma. On top of that, I get a new cantrip called True Strike, which basically means that, like, the following turn, if I do an attack, I get advantage on the attack roll. Considering how many times I've tried to attack and failed in recent memory, this feels like a wise investment. And I get one new spell, and my new spell is called Enthrall. Enthrall.
Is that one word or two?
It's one word, Enthrall. Enthrall basically allows me to string together a bunch of words, and if I'm successful and the target isn't able to break free, basically they'll be fixated on me, which means that they won't notice if, let's say, someone else walks past them. So, like, if I was trying to, like, help Thrall and Madame Valerie get in somewhere, I could talk to the bouncer and get them enthralled so that the two of them could walk straight past.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Oh, I also got 5 extra HP.
Nice. And perhaps in that scenario, I might not just be walking on the ground anymore. As a cheeky little segue. Because I also leveled up. And I got some interesting things. And we'll come back to that little cheeky little thing later. But first, I now have a sweet 24 hit points.
Nice.
It's very good. I have also received an ability score upgrade. My charisma is now 16, which means I have a +3 on all charisma-based checks, which is quite fancy. What else happened to my face? Give me a hot minute. I've completely forgotten what's happened to me. Right,
Life
yes.
in general, not just...
I have extra spells. I have a bunch of new spells. It's very exciting. My 5th cantrip to date is True Strike, which is a very tasty little thing. I'm going to get the spell card up now. You extend your hand and point a finger at a target and range your magic glance for your brief insight into the target's defences. On your next turn, you gain an advantage on your first attack roll against the target, provided that the spell hasn't ended. Because I feel like I've been needing a little bit of a foot up when it comes to combat. I'm not been doing too great, but this should help out somewhat. I also now have 2 new 3rd level spells because I forgot to give myself the second one in my previous level up. I have Suggestion, in which I can talk to someone within 30 foot that I can see, give them a sentence or two, and magically influence them to follow that suggestion that I've given them.
Goodness.
I know, it's basically the Inception spell. But if anyone attacks or damages that person, so if I, Brilmara, or Thrall attack or damage that individual, then the spell breaks, and they're like,
Basically,
"Whoa, no!"
you slap some sense back into them.
Effectively, yes. My other spell, we're bringing it back to that little segue, calling back to that, very exciting, is Spider Climb, which is... I'll read it. Until the spell ends, one willing creature you touch gains the ability to turn into David Bowie. No, to move up, down, and across vertical surfaces and upside down along ceilings, while leaving hands free. The target also gains a climbing speed equal to its walking speed. Very fancy stuff. Basically, I can look at
climb.
Yeah, it's kind of like, yeah. I can look at a wall and I can just walk up that wall. Once again, kind of Inception style. You know, like in that one bit when the van's tumbling down the hill, but in the dream it's all going slow, so they're just like fighting each other in that hotel. Basically, all of my spells are Inception inspired this session. Yep. I need to. Sorry, in related news, I also took this opportunity to add a spinning top to my treasure. There we go. No, I'm going to take that off.
You can have a spinning top if you want.
Okay, get a spinning top. Yes. Okay. Okay, it's back
maybe,
on.
Maybe
We've
picked
got
it up
to-
from behind the counter or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And it was just like continually spinning under the counter, which was very strange, and I didn't really put much thought into it.
Sorry. Going back 10 minutes, what do you want to do this episode?
I think we should spend a good solid bit of time planning out our new business venture, apparently, because that's the thing we have now.
You think that'll be a thing? Okay, well, how do you want to
I
go about that?
I assumed we were just going to leave the money in the hands of the workers' cooperative and leave them to do their thing.
I want to lay out some, like, not ground rules, because I'm not in charge, but some ground suggestions.
You're sounding a lot like a boss.
No, because they can follow it or they can't. It's up to them. This business is in the hands of the workers. I'm simply, you know, trying to ease them in the right direction, like a vanguard party. You know, it's all good. So, worker friends, comrades, even if you're cool with that terminology. This place is yours now, and you don't need to keep making patties out of people. It's all good. You can actually use brat like it's supposed to be.
Where do we get the rats from?
Now, that's a very good question. I don't know, but that's something we can figure out together right here, right now. And we do have a scrytome, so we can make some calls to the right people and figure out some stuff.
So you know the right people then?
I don't know the right people, but I can find the right people. Let me just look in the contacts list.
There's a part of me now that's like, we scroll through the contact, and like, if I was doing it, I would just be looking for like rat salesperson.
That's exactly what I was going to look for.
We're going to look for a rat salesperson.
Is there a rat salesperson in the contact directory?
You could try using Google.
Google?
Like
what's a Google?
A Google.
A Google.
Yes.
What's a Google?
It's a search thing, you can find anything you want on it.
Oh shit, right.
The ghosts go look it up for you or something.
I think it's something to do with ghouls, I don't know.
Is this how they power it, perhaps? They just feed ghosts into the machine.
I've never really thought about how they power those things.
As long as it works.
Alright, I'll
I
open
guess
up
so.
Google, which I'm going to struggle to say every time I say it.
Google.
Because it's going to feel intrinsically like I'm saying it wrong.
Cool.
because I'm a conditioned millennial. Okay, well, I open up Google and type in rat salesperson near me.
Okay, a couple of options come up. There's the underdark equivalent of Etsy, where people are making sort of enamel rats or rat-based jewellery. Even some rat patches.
And is it like 2,000 gold a piece?
The actual individual prices aren't very expensive, but I imagine if you clicked on the shipping, you'd find it absolutely fucking astronomical.
Oh god,
Yeah, shipping to the Underdark is, that's a long way to ship things.
Yeah. Then there's obviously a few your local tasty rats are pointed out on a small Google map. There's something on Google. There is a Google map pointing out sort of 4 or 5 local.
Can you get like a 3D design of your surrounding area through spectral view?
I think if you drag the little warrior down and land them on the bit of cave network you want, it'll show you a 3D image. And again, you feel that the scrytome gets quite hot when it's being used for quite intense purposes.
Oh no.
And sort of the third or fourth option down, you do see sort of rat farms.
Oh.
Free range rats, farmed.
Free range rats. Oh my goodness.
Farmed ethically, in the Underdark.
Oh, there we go.
Just south of Croydon.
Found a place, look, just south of Croydon. That's not too far away, all things considered.
It's true.
We can work out like a regular supply line there.
I suppose we could. Have we got any money?
Oh yes, we do. for you see there was a little safe over there, right? It's got 1,000 gold in it, and I think that is a nice bit of investment for this new business venture that we're starting.
I suppose that could work, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I suppose the real question here is, do you guys still want to work here?
I suppose it's better than being a slave if we kind of all own the place. Not
Yeah,
really
that's
I've
true.
ever sort of understood anything like this before. Like, usually there's a boss and they own it, or there's an owner and the boss runs it. But this place we own, we all own. No one...
Collectively, yes.
Collectively.
Yeah,
Right,
you're
it's-
basically all the boss of yourselves. It's like a democracy.
Oh, what?
Let me explain democracy to you, right?
And you explain democracy to them.
I do actually.
Because fuck me, we're not having that conversation.
I always appreciate a good and then you explain X from a DM.
Because sometimes that's really necessary. Thank you for stopping me from going on about democracy for half an hour. I love you.
I love you too, but please, goodness, no. It's bad enough that we're talking about how you supply rat to a restaurant. In our exciting D&D podcast, today we talked about economics, supply chains.
Only on PolyArmoury.
Only on PolyArmoury will you find this level of bollocks.
No.
Free range bollocks.
Oh, that's
Commando
good.
bollocks,
It's
if you will.
It's ethically sourced bollocks.
Ethically sourced bollocks. Free range, they're allowed to dangle at will.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Is this a good point for us to be like we give them the money and the vague pointers on where to get resources from?
Yeah,
and
I think that's a great way
And we
to
make sure we've got each other's contacts on the scribe. I'm going to assume.
There is a
Actually,
scribe
I'm
pad
not
in the
gonna
office.
assume. Excellent. Yeah, we make sure that that's all linked up and everything. It's all good.
There may be other things, but you would need to search the bodies for that. And we all know that
Search the
you
bodies.
never search the bodies.
Get a search the body.
Bodies on the floor. There are bodies on the floor. There are bodies.
Search.
Can we do like one search roll to just search all the bodies?
If you roll investigation, I will let you do that.
I will do
Okay.
that.
Investigation
15.
6.
Together that makes 21.
Roll.
Do you
I will
want to
roll
do
for-
Thrall's roll?
I will roll for Thrall. I'll make sure his
Thrall.
character sheet's like permanently up so that I don't have to keep faffing about with that.
Yeah, get it up.
And making a right fool of
Get
myself.
it up.
it's like a penis.
Goodness.
Thrall gets
Thrall is a heckin' boss.
Ha-
Okay,
Thrall
Detective
gets
Thrall PI.
yeah, Thrall gets a 19 and finds everything.
So, Thrall finds a couple of scrytomes in amongst various people's pockets. There's a total of another 150 golds between
Nice.
all the bugbears. There's obviously some spears and a short sword, if anybody wants those.
Oh, you know what? Might nab that spear actually.
Okay.
I might grab one of the scrytomes just so if we ever need to split up at some point during an investigation, we can contact each other.
Okay. Thrall is looking that he wants a scrytome as well.
Yeah.
Should
Are
we
we
give
all going to
him
have
one?
our own scrytomes
should we
now
give him
that
one
we've all
that's-
stolen from people?
Should we give him one that's just loaded up with all the games?
Yes. This is a good plan.
I think, to be fair, it'd probably be best if you gave him the original scrytome, because that's the one
Yeah.
where
That's
he's got
where
all
his
his Piggy
progress is on. Yeah, he
Yeah,
can
we'll
have
do that.
he can have that one.
we can all have our own backgrounds now.
You can. Although
It's great.
the one Thrall still has a picture of the cart from where you parked outside Fairy Forest, which you set to the lock screen. Okay, so you all have a scrytome now. If you can put those on your sheets.
Have done already.
And Astrid, did you put your spear on?
Yeah, I just put it down that I have it, and I'll work out the stats if we need to enter a combat situation.
Okay.
So you've now got a whip, a light crossbow, a rapier, and a spear.
I am loaded.
I know I said I wasn't going to make you have, like, worry about weights and stuff, but if you get many more weapons, I am going to make you encumbered.
It's okay. I think I've got. I'm going to stick with the arsenal I have. I think this is a good little setup I've got.
I think I'm going to make you, like, pick 2 weapons when you get out of the cart at any given occasion.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, I feel like now is a point where you could be very, very mean to Madame Valerie and be like, oh, you can't carry any more weapons, and what a shame, you've just come across this hammer and sickle.
No!
No! So now that we have now that we've looked at the economics of running a rat shop, as well as remembering to actually check the bodies,
Yes.
I know what I want to do with this episode, and I suppose I might as well do it while we're here, because this is a relatively safe place for us to do things now, because it's a building that we partially own as part of a cooperative. I want to just, like, say to Thrall and Madame Valerie and all the people who are currently in the building, just, do you mind if I just, like, go in the office for a minute and just have the office to myself for a little bit? Because there's something I need to get sorted.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure, no problem.
And on my way there, I grab a couple of sachets of ketchup on my way.
And as Brilmara heads out of the room, I turn to the gnomes and go, right, I'm going to tell you all about the dialectics, and then we cut back to Brilmara.
So I'm going to shut myself away in the office for a little bit, because obviously we have to address the fact that my magic's on the fritz, and it's probably because the impression, we've not talked about the way that I've got in contact with this god in the past, have we?
No.
When I initially made my Dark Eldritch pact with an Eldritch snake in the ground.
Nope.
Okay. So, the way I'm envisioning this, and this is the new canon for how this ritual works, is using the ketchup, I'm basically going to draw an elaborate, basically like a big summoning circle just in ketchup on the ground in this office.
Okay.
You make use of what you've got. And I sit next to it, close my eyes, and I just try and empty my mind so that it is just dark and empty, and I try and remind myself, just trying to get myself into a mental equivalent of, the bottom of a miles deep hole.
That's not where she lives.
That's just where, that's where I feel think I need to think of to get there. It's just, somewhere that's just dark and down and away from everything. I wasn't implying that this is where this god is, but this sort of idea of just being somewhere that is nothing.
So you cast your magic circle upon the floor, sit down and start to sort of meditate yourself into this sort of deep position spiritually. You feel yourself dropping out of the world into one of the lower planes, into the fugue plane, where you long ago first encountered the great eater of the world, the mother of the night parade. She is the night serpent. Yes. Hang on. When you were a young girl, did your parents take you into the city to see the night parade?
They said, daughter, when you grow up, will you be an Eldritch abomination?
Okay. Well, yes.
The answer was yes, I will be, parents. Thank
Yay!
you.
They were very happy with that, and they do still love you. Other songs from that album. Anyway, yes, and soon you are near to a large cave, and from inside you hear movement, and slowly sliding out to greet you is a familiar face, large and horrifying, with glowing yellow eyes, the colour of rotten eggs. Her purple and green scales, with their reticulated pattern, remind you very much of the hallucination you had while you were on Purple Worm. And she slithers towards you, fangs dripping with poison. And her tongue flicks out as she sniffs you and considers you.
I am Thor. Once a slave, now joining those who would starve me.
Hey! How are you, Dendar? How's being a night serpent treating ya?
Sorry.
Lazy, greedy elves stealing all my food.
Yeah.
And you helping them, starving me of my nightmares.
How would you believe me if I tell you I woefully misunderstood what I was doing and I was unaware of the connotations of quite what I was undergoing, and with the realization in mind that I was starving you of food and that this was going to be a semi-permanent thing, that I would definitely go back and change those actions.
She moves her body around you so that there is now a full coil behind your back, and she comes almost face to face. The tip of her nose is maybe a foot from yours, and she is huge and gigantic.
Yes, typical of mortals. Not understanding what's going on. Still, I blame those lazy, greedy elves. They are stealing my food. They have made the fungus more palatable. What was once a rite of passage for a chosen few is now being supplied to all and sundry.
Look, I'm aware that I've caused a problem for you, but first of all, I am in the same realm as the elves. I can do something about what they're doing with their fungus. And B, I'm not quite there yet, but you know, once I've trained enough, there is something I can maybe do to help, in that I can eventually, well, obviously with your help as my patron, learn to cast fear and bring nightmares to people at will. I know that that's a promise for the future, as is you know, dealing with these elves and what they're denying you, but I can't fix this without your help.
You have made promises to me before, I am Thor. If you truly wish to regain my favour, I suggest you stop the flow of fungus. Then we shall consider your position.
I will do what I can, and we shall speak again.
See that you do not disappoint me again.
And she slithers off back towards the entrance to the cave, and then flicks her head round towards you, and hisses, and as you do, suddenly you are back in the office, in front of your ketchup circle, which has now baked onto the floor. It's developed a really hard crust, like someone's cooked it on there. It's going to be an absolute pain to try and get off the floor now.
Hooray! I now have a mission from a primordial elder evil. Hooray!
Whoop, whoop.
So
Congratulations.
So this at least gives me a goal long term of how to get my magic back into good standing. The problem is, obviously, until then I'm going to need to find a solution, and, well, in order to find a solution, I'm going to need to have a temporary source of magical power, and becoming a lit dab wizard seems like the best course of action to get me there.
Absolutely.
So, I want to call up my friend the dab wizard.
AJ! Okay, so you flick through your scrytome and find AJ, Lit Dab Wizard.
Is that in parentheses after AJ?
Absolutely.
I think it's the other way around. It's lit dab wizard in brackets AJ, because I'm never going to remember to look up AJ in the phone.
Yeah. Like his actual name comes after his esteemed
Yeah, exactly.
title.
You know, you give them their title and then be like, oh yeah, if you need to, like, you know,
put their name on a form, I guess it's there.
You find AJ in the directory. Give him a call. The screen clouds over, and you see the little blue dots firing off into the distance as you are attempted to be connected. And you notice that the Scrytime screen seems to be a little bit fuzzy, and it's like the signal's not very good out here. Almost like you've gone out of a major city and suddenly it's just really patchy reception. And eventually you are connected to AJ.
Hey,
All right,
AJ.
Brilmara. How
Hey,
you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Just recovering after last fairy forest.
It's it's fine at the time, but a little while afterwards, it just all hits you, doesn't it?
It's always Tuesdays.
Always Tuesdays. Unless you go to the fairy forest a different day, but...
Well, fairy forest is always Saturday night.
So, I got a couple of questions for you if you've got a minute.
Sure, shoot.
Okay, so two things. First of all, it looks like I'm going to be relying on lit dab wizard magic for a little while. So, like, are there any things I can be practicing that are going to help me to get this magic in tune? Have you got any warm up routines or anything like that? Any sort of exercises I should be trying?
Being lit is about love. It's about connecting with other people and sharing that love in performance. So I guess you really want to, first of all, make sure that you've got your basic dab form right down. Really, really work on that. Focus on something that is important to you. That is your connection to your source of magic. And then, you can learn to do things like I do. You can cast light and colour. I mean, I think the first spell I ever learnt was Cure Wounds.
Well, this kind of leads me into my second question, was going to be, can I be using this as my source of magic for... Because, here's the deal. I knew a bunch of spells that aren't working from my current source. Can I be channeling lit dab magic to do the spells I already know?
If you have the performance ability to do that, you should be able to do most basic spells. But I highly encourage you to start by learning some good Cure Wounds magic.
Okay, how would I do this? And I guess this is a question both for AJ, but also a question for the DM, being I don't know Cure Wounds or a similar spell, and I, am not gaining one from a level up or anything. Is there a mechanic in place here you've got in mind?
I do have a mechanic.
Okay.
But I would like to find it. I would like you to find it out through the game.
Okay, no worries.
I think cue a montage where Mr. Blue Sky plays, and it's a series of clips of Brilmara trying to cast positive happy spells and just accidentally setting things on fire or blowing things up, but slowly we get to you healed the thing. It's great. There we go.
What would you be trying to heal then in this montage?
Okay. So if we're assuming the phone call's ended and I'm trying to do my thing, is there anyone currently in the restaurant who is injured and needs healing?
I mean, I'm on 5 hit points at the moment.
There you go.
Okay, well, Madame Valerie seems like a good target to try healing.
But you won't kill me. I was thinking like a rat or something.
No. I don't think it's going to go that wildly wrong, hopefully.
Okay. I have faith in you.
Cast performance.
Cast performance. So I guess for flavor here, before I do it, what I'm doing is just a very bog standard dab, but I'm trying to just end the dab with my face sort of towards Madame Valerie, and the intention here is standard dab form, kiss at the end of the dab, and channel healing love through the dab.
Focus on the source of your magic.
17.
He says, like your Obi-Wan.
17.
17. focusing
textbook
on
dab.
focusing on the source of your magic, which was previously your connection to your dark eldritch god, which was symbolised through your tattoos. Your one remaining vibrant tattoo, which we discussed last week.
Yes, the totally not a top-down view of a person dabbing tattoo.
The totally a top-down view of a person dabbing tattoo. You cast a dab, and which you've said you end in a kiss, towards Madame Valerie, and for 17, welcome to level 1 dab wizardry.
Oh,
You cast
heck.
Cure Wounds at
Holy
the most
shit.
basic level. So that is a level 1 spell slot you'll need to have expelled.
Okay. So yeah, I guess my mechanical question here is okay. You've answered it for me.
To explain at moments, you may use Cure Wounds, and you can use any of your cantrips,
Okay.
except Find Familiar, because Find Familiar is specifically connected to your god,
Yes.
who is pissed at you.
Okay. My familiar, however, is currently summoned, and we've not said anything about Puff ceasing to exist.
Puff hasn't ceased to exist, but you haven't tried to use them for anything.
Okay. Okay, we'll tackle that as and when we get to it, but currently I can use Thaumaturgy, Vicious Mockery, Speak with Animals, my
True Strike.
my new one, True Strike, and Cure Wounds.
Indeed.
Interesting. And if I want to use one of those, would I be using Performance rather than my normal stat?
Yes.
Oh, how interesting.
All of Dab Wizardry is powered through your performance.
Okay.
It's just as well your charisma has always been your spellcasting ability, really.
Exactly. It definitely helps. So with that out of the way, I think the only other thing to do is I should probably mention to Valerie, like, hey, so I have some of my magic back. This is cool. I'm now a dab wizard. I'm level 1 lit, which is pretty cool.
Level 1, oh my goodness.
Yeah, level
Is it
1
like a cool club?
litness.
You're mildly illuminated at this stage, I suppose.
But like, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Previously, my magic was powered by a evil dark snake that lives in a magical cave in my mind. And
Oh, nice.
yeah,
That's pretty cool.
I don't know. I don't know if we've ever talked about like where all my magic came from.
Yeah, no, this is...
You've been together a while. I imagine you
Yeah,
brought it up
yeah.
at some
So
point.
like you're aware of this whole like I worship a dark evil snake in a cave thing.
Yeah, it's sort of
From the
come up
future.
at
Yeah,
some point.
yeah. Turns out I really pissed him off by taking Purple Worm because I'm not gonna lie, I misunderstood some of the mechanics of how this particular fungus worked, and I may have pissed off my god, and most of my magic doesn't work. And you know, I like my magic. It's a thing I got on very well with. So
Gonna try and get that shit
yeah,
back, yeah?
yeah. I need to know if you're on board with this, because in order to maybe get my magic back, I maybe need to go and stop the elves from providing Purple Worm to the world. And then maybe my evil snake will give me my magic back. Are you cool with this? Because you could think of it like liberation, because you're liberating the people from their addictions and dependencies. It's like liberation. That's that thing that you really love. So how you feeling about supporting me and the things I want to do with my life?
I mean, first off, I don't appreciate being patronised. You know this. Do you know this?
I know.
We know each
I
other,
wasn't
right?
trying to be
You don't
I wasn't
need
trying to
to-
be patronising.
You don't need to try and pull me over to a thing that means a lot to you by tempting me
I just-
the thought of revolutionary further. It's all good.
I just thought it'd make you smile. I'm trying
Okay,
to frame
it made
that
me
way.
smile a little bit. But okay. So this is obviously very important to you. Kind of sucks because Purple Worm, it's pretty all right. But if this is what it takes, because I love you. Yeah, all right.
Thank you, and it's fine. Like, just remember, my god doesn't, my snake god doesn't have any problem with those lovely crystals. So, like,
Good.
we're probably like we still got we still got options.
Okay. I will cooperate with you and assist you in this endeavour.
Thank you, and I did help you take over a rat shop. So
I mean, you did.
yeah,
I suppose this like favour for a favour sort of
exactly.
situation. You know?
Thank you.
All right.
I guess I know what we're doing next. Well, actually, we've still got.
Well, first we need to hand in our
Yeah,
job.
Let's go hand in our job, and then we'll go deal with that.
Oh, before I forget, did you say we got another 150 gold from the corpses?
You did, yeah.
Cool. We're on 299 gold.
Okay, so you're keeping that one, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll give the 1,000 to the cooperative, but the 150 is ours.
Okay.
We'll consider it a finder's fee.
We'll need to work out how the because obviously the profits from the business are going to be distributed equally among all of the owners. So you're gonna have to work that out. But that can come later. We can give them a call later.
I'm sure we can just leave this to be a thing that does its own thing and not worry about it.
Plus, it's all ours. We'll make sure that my comrades will be okay. Care about them.
I'm sure that mechanically, if
But
we
we'll deal
leave
with it
here,
later,
everything
like I
will be
said.
fine.
Yeah, like I said, we'll deal with it later.
Okay, so at this point, I think we go head off and hand in our job that we did a while ago.
Yes, let's do that.
And as you start to head out of the restaurant, the orc with the interesting accent and the drum says...
Oh shit, yes.
Hey, you heading off there?
Yes, we are. But before we do, I wanted to ask you a little question.
I was gonna ask if you could give us a lift. I need to head towards Groibon, if that's okay. If
Yeah,
you're
that
going
should be
that
fine.
way.
We're going in that sort of direction? Are we going in that sort of direction?
Where are you going to?
Well, we're heading back towards Moortown.
Okay, if you want to head to Moortown, then yes, you are heading towards Groibon.
Excellent, we'll go via Groibon.
So, as a heads
on,
up, can I
friend.
just double check?
You wouldn't be going via, but you would be going towards.
Okay,
Yeah. So, as a double check, I might be misremembering the voice, but is this the same one who asked us to retrieve the song book?
No.
No, didn't think so. Just wanted to double check because.
Ferris was the
What?
dwarf that asked about
Yes.
recovering the songbook.
Okay, no worries.
However, something about the voice that I am really curious about. Got a question for you, friend.
Sure, go ahead.
Do you know someone called Ganley?
Sure, I'm called Ganley.
What?
Name's Aidan Ganley. It's a family name.
That'll explain
I
it.
know
we're brothers.
We're from Moortown.
Can I just say, I'm very glad that happened to be your family name, because otherwise my friend here might have just seemed very, very racist.
What?
No, it's okay. It's the
What?
the Ganley clan were huge. There's a few of us around.
Yeah, we're from Moortown. You got one of your folk is running a tavern in Moortown.
Not Kelly. Ah, that guy.
Kelly.
Sure.
Sorry. Hold the front fucking door right now. He's Kelly Ganley.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking amazing, and I love it, and it's fantastic, and this pleases me.
Sure, I mean, if you're heading that way, although I don't think you'd be terribly happy to see me with the news I've got.
What kind of news we talking?
I went to Severton to try and find the family songbook, but some bastards nicked it. Ruins of my granddad's house. The whole thing's been knocked down. So it looks like someone's definitely been through the rubble.
Hey, so
Sorry, I got a bit of a cough.
So we might have seen a book a little like that being handed over around the fairy forest. Some people got kicked out the fairy forest that had a book that might be what you're looking for.
Oh, Grumptious nippers. That's not a good thing.
Yeah, we were having a bit of a night, so I do not remember the names of the people, but they had a bugbear with them. They were at the fairy forest.
It was 2 orcs and a bugbear in a very uncomfortable looking suit.
Thanks for the heads up. I don't know how I'm going to find that book again. It was my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. He was a legendary bard, said he knew the whole history of Frigidaire. Some of the most important stories were noted down in that songbook. Keep hearing these humans talking about this Guile away. I'm sure there is a song in there that talks about a Guile away.
What?
It's,
Okay.
like I say, it's a bad songbook. We're all basically historians.
Okay. So funny story, right? We are investigating the humans going around talking about Guideway, and I was happy to do this anyway, but it seems extra imperative. Do you want help trying to get that book back at some point?
Sure, if you think you can find those orcs in that bugbear.
Well, I think I know where to start. What was the name of the owner of the fairy forest again?
Very first was Rose and Captain Simeon.
Rose.
I love
Because-
Captain Cinnamon.
It's great. It's great. Because Rose seemed to know who they were.
That right. Any idea where we can find this Rose?
If we go back to the fairy forest, we should be able to at some point, anyway.
I don't think we can go straight back there. I think that
obviously not,
it's
but-
semi-regular occurrence from what I can tell.
Yeah, next time fairy forest happens, if we pop over there and have a chat with Rose, we might be able to find out more.
Sounds like a great idea. So you're right
Awesome.
if I hop the cart with you?
Yeah, sure thing. There's some room. Now that we're not carrying gnomes about.
Okay, so you heading off?
Hi.
Yep.
Okay, so you bid farewell to your recently liberated comrades,
Keep in touch.
and the 4 of you head off. Get head to the cart, undo the cart alarm, beep, 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 and you head off back towards Maudtown.
Excellent.
I assume you're going straight there.
Yep.
Okay. You trundle into Maudtown, and from the outskirts, you notice again there is just a lot of dirt. There's bottles everywhere. These crappy bottles everywhere. Bits of broken glass all over the sides of the street, piling up in doorways. Thrall, of course, as usual, has been sat in the cart, hunched over his Scrytone, playing Pigimon away.
Of course.
You can almost feel the heat radiating off it.
Fuck.
Make sure you
It's-
turn it off every now and then to not burn yourself, Thrall.
That's a little bit... Can I make a knowledge arcana check?
Are you wanting to check if this thing's going to explode or something?
Yeah.
Okay. DC 20?
Oh, okay. Fingers crossed. Nah. I would have had to get a natural 20 to get that.
Athletics check.
but- What?
You roll
Oh,
athletics.
sorry. I clicked the wrong button.
Starts with an A.
Same thing. Oh well.
Well, your
it's all
your
good.
bonus was the same.
It was.
Can I try an Arcana check?
Sure.
I, on the other hand, am not going to try and backflip my way to an answer.
Fuck off.
15. Good, but not good enough.
Right next to each other.
Okay, so yes, that was 2 5s from Madame Valerie and a 15 from Brilmara. So, you don't know what the answer is.
Oh no.
Thrall, every now and then, please turn this off and don't burn yourself or catch fire.
And Thrall gives you a single nod and goes, and you head into town, and all of a sudden one of the piggies just...
Hey, what's up, little friends?
Oh, I'm gonna dab magic my way into one of my cantrips, so I dab speak with animals.
Okay, you dab to the squealing piggy, who says, "Ow, ow, 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 ow."
What's wrong? What's wrong?
Whoa, stop the cart, stop the cart, stop the cart. I climb off.
Hat,
Oh,
hat.
stop. Okay, I get out the cart and I look at their hooves. Do they have hooves? Is that what
They have
pigs have?
trotters.
Trotters? I look at their trotters.
Okay, then you notice that there is a piece of glass stuck in the pig's trotter.
Just in one of them.
Just in one of the trotters.
Okay, I say to the pig, I'm really sorry. This is going to hurt for a second, but I'll fix it. And I pull the piece of glass out and dab cure wounds. Yeah, because it's level 1. Do I have to medicine it? Performance it.
Yeah.
Okay. 21.
Nice. That's one hell of a dab.
That piggy is feeling. Thank.
That's okay.
Okay. Poke out now.
Yeah, sorry about this. Are you okay to keep going, or are you okay if we just go nice and slowly and we make sure you look out where you're going for more glass like that.
Have carrot.
I get out a carrot and give some carrot. Okay, you up for carefully keeping going?
Have carrot.
If we keep,
all right,
if you're careful, have carrot. And I get back on the cart.
Okay, you carefully pick your way along the streets. There is quite a lot of broken glass, but the piggies seem to be paying much more attention to what is underfoot.
Yeah, because they want carrot.
They always want carrots. Eternally hungry. Where do you want to pull up?
As close to the PolyArmoury as possible.
You can pull up right outside the PolyArmoury if you want.
Well, hey,
Yeah.
let's do that then.
Okay, you pull up outside the PolyArmoury, and there is Jardine just sweeping directly outside the PolyArmoury to the point where there is a small pile on either side of the shop, because clearly this is the only bit of cleaning that is being done anywhere in Morddown. An almost snowdrift of broken glass and bottles on either side of the PolyArmoury doors. And Jardine gives you a cheery hello as you hop off the cart.
As we do, we lock it. I'm just going to make sure to say this every time, just in case.
Nice. Okay, so Ganley hops off as well. Jesus, what happened to this place?
I was wondering the same thing. What's with all the glass piling up around here?
Hey there, you're back, huh?
I love it. Yes, perfect.
Not seen you for a while.
No, we've had an interesting run around recently. We picked up a business.
Yeah, that was
a fun thing. We got some nice job done for the PolyArmoury. It's been a good time.
And Brilmara's a dab wizard now.
Oh yeah, I can dab magic into stuff now.
Pretty fucking cool.
Pretty fucking cool indeed. So yeah, what's with all the glass?
A lot of people drinking this Nestler Spring. Seems like the bottles just pile up. No one's really doing anything with them.
Can people not, reuse them in some way? Or,
They're trash. They just break as soon as you touch them too hard.
I think we should get, a magical furnace here or something.
What, melt them all down so that we could maybe make something new out of them?
I mean, I was honestly just implying that we have somewhere to dump them so that they don't clear everything up. But that also works and is probably a nicer thing.
Wonder if that crazy orc that lives up the hill. I hear she's always making stuff in that weird mansion thing.
Oh yeah, we should go talk to her. The consensual necromancer.
Gorthane, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll go talk to her in a bit. At some point, anyway, I mean.
Sure.
What?
I think Vandy's in there if you want to go say hi.
Oh, alright, sure thing.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And I go take, as I've put it in my notes, the fancy treasure sword
Nice.
into the PolyArmoury.
You head into the PolyArmoury, and Vendy is filling something in the ledger. Appears to have just made a sale to a couple of kobolds who seem rather happy with some new spears they've purchased.
Nice.
Although spears, odd choice for a kobold, they're quite small. And
Just
and
give them a small spear to take some of the wood off the end of it.
Which end? Not the pointy end, hopefully.
No, not the pointy end, the holdy end.
And they head out past you as you bustle in. Alright, not seen you for a while. How's it going?
It's good. We got some we got something that I think you're going to be happy about.
Behold, and I joined Brilmara. We should I think we should both like display it in a rather fancy like.
Okay, we both hold
fashion.
out the fancy treasure sword in a fancy fashion.
And we have this wonderful number available. If you just call the number 1-400, buy this fancy ass sword now. You can get this for the low price of we're giving it to you for free because it's our job.
Well. I have no idea what this is, but it certainly does look fancy. How did you find it then?
We went looking through the ruins of the old PolyArmoury, that one that got trashed. Found a safe. Didn't look like there was much in the safe. We, found a secret little compartment in there. Like this was the thing of value that looked like it was valuable out of the stuff that we were able to salvage from that PolyArmoury.
Yeah, and there was a what's the stones called?
Hash stone.
There was a hash stone there, and the hash stone glowed. The hash stone there glowed green when we held it over this sword, which normally means it's quite important.
So you still got the ash stone then?
Yep. Hand it over.
Okay, you hand the hash stone over, and she waves it over the sword. It glows and vibrates, and then she holds the hash stone up to her strange glowing eye that floats and is bolted to the side of her head, and she seems to just assess it quite critically for a few moments. Don't recognise it, but it's definitely one of ours. I guess their head office authorised it, so I suppose we could probably send it up the river to Gribon. Well,
awesome.
About that, while you're here, actually, it might be bloody useful. We've not had much of the way in deliveries recently, and she gestures at you to follow her.
We follow.
Okay, you follow through to the back room and downstairs to where the little dock is. Usually this is where you used to get stock deliveries in, that time not so long ago when you got Trash Boys and you Mimic. But the water level is barely a trickle. It's just some silty mud about 8 feet down. There's almost no river here at all. So, as you can see, it's not exactly as practical as it used to be.
Oh shit. I know what's going on.
What's going on?
Isn't it funny how this river is miraculously drained, and recently there's been quite a large influx and popularity of bottled water being sold throughout the Underdark.
Oh, people having to use bottled water because they're no longer able to fill water up from a natural source, huh?
What's the name of this company selling this water?
Nestler's Spring, if I remember right.
I think we should go have a chat with them.
Yeah, it's somewhere up towards Groibon, I reckon.
I say we follow the river.
So, you wanted us to take the sword up to Groibon, up to head office?
Well, usually I was just going to suggest we send it up the river, but unfortunately, there is
a lack of.
Well, I think these things all quite well line up, because we have someone to take to Groibon, a sword to take to Groibon, and potentially the source of all these broken glass bottles around up in Groibon direction. I think that's a good place for us to be heading.
To Groibon! Well, on to the cart, but...
Okay, so heading via the cart.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, before we do, I'm gonna... I think, maybe it would be good to go up and talk to... I keep forgetting her name, the... Central Necromancer.
Gorthane. Okay.
Because, even if we do solve the whole bottled water Nestler Springs issue, it would be nice to have, some way of keeping the streets clean. Making more town look like a respectable location.
It's not the kind of thing we do in the Underdark, but
I
admire your desire to
keep
the shop clean at least.
Yeah.
Well, alright then. I guess I'll see you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
As you head back to the front of the shop, you bump into Aiden. So, it's lovely meeting you. I'm just going to head over and have a word with my brother. So, maybe see you in a bit.
Yeah, sure thing. If you still need to go to Groybon, we're going to be popping up there at some point because we need to deliver something.
Sweet. Be lovely.
So you can tag along if you fancy.
That'd be great if you don't mind.
Yeah, it's all right. No harm done.
Thanks very much.
It's all good.
Okay, so you're heading up the hill?
Yep, heading up the hill.
You head up the hill, and as you get up there is this interesting building. It looks like an old manor house that has had bits just tacked onto it endlessly over the years. What was once possibly quite a posh palatial manor house is now a collection it's now this manor house surrounded by a collection of strange outbuildings and even what looks like some kind of large warehouse just bolted to one side of the building. It's a complete mismatch of almost like expansions had been made just as they were needed and not necessarily by the most skilled of hands.
Well, I must say, I'm glad the Underdark doesn't have planning permission because you don't see kind of really funky shit like this upstairs in all the big cities, do you? Hey,
Indeed
Brilmara.
not. Indeed not.
Is there an identifiable front door?
There is a front door to the original building by the looks of it.
I mean, I suppose that's a good a front door as any.
You knock on the door. You hear a sort of stumbling footstep coming to the other side. The door swings open with a really slow like it's having a little doorgasm. And there's a shabby old zombie with sunken eyes and all the skin's very tight against the flesh, slightly green, wearing an old butler's costume, looking very dusty. And it just looks at you and goes,
Hello. Sorry, out of character. I keep forgetting the name of the person. I'm really sorry. I'm going to write it down now before
Gore.
Gore.
Thane.
Gorthane. Hi, can we speak to Gorthane, please?
And it gestures into the house and as if to that you may enter.
Thank you.
You head in, it shuts the door behind you. It has another little doorgasm and then a very suitable thunk, which
nice.
causes dust to shake from the ceiling and the chandeliers and so forth.
That's pretty fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie.
The zombie does a little limpy shamble through the building, and you follow along behind. Thrall barely looks up from his scrytome. He's busy playing with his Pigimons.
Oh boy.
And eventually you are led through a series of corridors, all very different styles of building, where, as I said, it's all been sort of tacked together in a ramshackle manner. Think like the Burrow if it was more technical.
Yeah.
Eventually you are led through what you believe was the warehouse section that you could see from the outside. And here are a number of large green vats, all sort of glass-sided, bubbles going up the side, and it appears that there are some kind of giant creature being grown inside these things. There's just rows and rows and rows of them, and in the middle of the room, next to a large point of obsidian, which is crackling with green lightning and spreading out to these growing pods around the room, is Gorthane, who is currently channeling this green lightning into the obsidian pillar and chanting to herself.
Gorthane. Gorthane.
And the zombie says, and all of a sudden the crackling stops, the energy winds down. Then the zombie shuffles off to hit some kind of light, and the main lights flash back up because it's now got quite dark without the crackling electricity. Oh, hi. Not seen you in a while. Hello.
Sorry,
How's it
hope
going?
hope it didn't bother you. Hi.
Yeah, sorry if we
Oh,
interrupted
it's fine,
anything.
fine. Just working on some more of the old flesh golems. We'll get them humans, you know.
Yeah, eventually. We actually might be on a lead to find out more about this guile away that they keep going on about.
On a lead, you say? Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
On a lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. So, how can I help you?
Of course, your work on the golems is the priority here. But if you do have any free moments at any point, I don't know if you've noticed the big old build-up of glass bottles outside.
I've not been out an awful lot. Very busy with this lot.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So there's this company called Nestler Springs.
Yes,
And they've
like
been selling
the
this-
people that make croak.
Yeah.
Oh,
those
yeah.
ones. They've been selling bottled water.
Why would you bottle water? Just drink it out of a
I
river.
know, right? It's ridiculous. Now,
Oh,
see,
'cause the
that's
river's
actually
dried
it's
up.
where it ties in there because
What?
the rivers run dry, and we are investigating that because we think it's linked. But
What
the
we can do
bottles
without
they
water?
are, yeah, I know. The bottles they've been selling it in, really shit bottles. They keep breaking, and we don't have anywhere to put them. And the street is absolutely flooded with the things.
Oh, goodness.
One of our cart pigs got a bit of broken glass stuck in their trotter. Wasn't very good. Well, they're okay now, but
I was going to say, if
Got
it
me
died,
thinking,
I could
right?
probably sort it out for you. Well,
Yeah.
you know, if that's what it was into.
But it got me thinking, right? I know it's not the done thing in the Underdark. You know,
I'm all about that.
But what I'm thinking is, it would be really nice if we had some way of getting rid of our rubbish in Moortown. Keep the place cleaned up.
Glass, you say?
Yeah, glass, some other bits and pieces. We're thinking maybe the glass, if you could find a way of like melting it down again, it could be really useful for something.
I could always use more glass, making all these vats to grow more flesh golems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
There's a-
funnily enough.
There's a great source of it just in the streets, and, you know, I'm sure people would not mind you having all the free glass in exchange for you taking all the free glass for yourself. Seems like a good, the good old situation.
Right, well, I guess I'll send the zombies down there to pick it up.
Oh, lovely, thanks very much.
No problem.
Well, problem sorted.
Excellent. I guess I'll need another extension to keep all these vats in.
Yeah.
Have
Gorgeous
fun.
place, by the way. Really, really fancy architecture.
Oh yeah, just sort of knocked it together whenever I need something.
It is a
love
great
that.
way to live. Just keep on building it. I'm a big old fan.
Yeah, nice.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
you should get a big old fan. Keep the
I've got
place
zombies
cool.
for that. Well, you know, if that's what they're into.
well, I guess we'll leave you to it. We've got to go find out what's going on with the river and stuff. But
Sure. I'll get back to growing this lot and send Mr. Buttlesworth off to get the rest of the zombies. Oi, Buttles! Sort 'em out! Go get some more of that sweet glass from down in town, apparently. Couple of brooms, maybe some dustpans or something. If you haven't got any, always knock some more up, eh? Alright, cheers.
Right, have a good one.
You too, yeah? And she turns back to the pillar and starts channeling green lightning out of her hands into the pillar, which is spreading out to the rest of the room.
Do you know what? I feel like I've been woefully underappreciating how lovely Gorthane is as a character.
Well, she's been here this whole time.
I know.
I feel really bad for not appreciating her presence more often. This needs to change.
Well, she's around whenever you wish to
Good.
come
I'm
back.
glad. I'm definitely gonna.
So,
I love this town of people that we can return to whenever we just need a feel-good moment with some lovely people.
so you're heading back to town?
Yep, we're heading back to town to head off on our journey to Groybon and Nestler's Springs.
Okay. You head back to town and you find Ganley sitting on the swept bit of street just outside the PolyArmoury, just having a little go on his drum, keeping his rhythms in practice. How you doing? You
Been alright.
ready to head off? Got everything you need?
Yeah, I think we got just about everything we need, and we're good to go now.
Sure. So, okay then. So, you're heading off to try and find Nestler's Spring.
On our epic Nestler Spring-based quest.
Okay. Nothing you want to do in town before you go?
I can't think of anything urgent. If there's anything big we've missed, I'm sure we can come back and do it, after.
Yeah.
We're a roaming gang of PARP now. We are a rolling PARP. And we can always, return whenever we wish.
Yeah, okay. Let's begin our journey.
And with that, you mount up and ride off into the cave set with your piggies and Thrall and your new friend Aidan Ganley.
Huzzah!
Okay. Or something more for the PolyArmoury.
Something from the new Doom soundtrack.
I've not played the new Doom. Sad face.
Really good. I've only played it at an event. But
Hopefully I'll get to play it on the Switch.
Yes. Same.
Yes. Well then, thank you very much for joining us. Laura, where can we find you?
You can find me pretty much everywhere at Laura K Buzz. Laura K Buzz on Twitter, YouTube, any of those kind of places that have usernames, probably Laura K Buzz. Other than that, you can find me at kotaku.co.uk, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. You can find me on a bunch of podcasts. Podquisition is the one where I talk about video games every week. You can go listen to that. That's probably the big ones.
And Astrid?
Well, if you like a little bit of communism sprinkled into your video games, you can go to jaffameister.com, where I finally mash communism into video games and talk about how it makes sense. Most recently, I went to MCM Expo, as mentioned earlier in the episode, and asked the people at the convention whether or not they thought communism would win, and I did a video about it, so you can go check that out. You can also, on the very same website, find all of my work freelance, where I write for Waypoint, gamesindustry.biz and the Morning Star, and all of my indie haven content for all things indie, where I do video content, I do written content, and I do podcasts. So go have a little look at that. You can also find me on Twitter, which is at Jaffameister, and it's spelled the same as the website, which is JAFFAMEISTER. And you can go follow me, have a little bit of a chat. I talk about a bunch of different things, and you should get involved in that conversation.
If you want to find me, I can be found at I can be found on Twitter as at PolyArmoury SMR and as at ManiacJaniac. If you would like to have a look at stonemonkeyradio.blog, you'll find the easiest place to find all of my random crap. That's reviews, podcasts. If you're interested in a bit of weird horror ASMR, I recently put up the very final episode of the programme. My thrilling conclusion to that little series. If you would like, this is, I believe, the final week to enter our competition to win a copy of Awesome Collector 3D Collectathon A Hat in Time. Just send us a little bit of artwork or something using the hashtag PolySMR. And if you would like to follow the PolyArmoury Instagram, it's PolyCuties. And I believe Madam Valerie is Valerie PolySMR.
It is true.
On the Twitter.
Correct.
So there you go. Thank you very much for joining us. Join us again sometime. Bye.
Bye.
Toodles. Yeah, that was right.
Yeah,
That was good.
we've been toodled.
We have been
Toodled.
toodled. I'll toodle you right up.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, lovely. I'll toodle you right up.
Yeah, go on. Toodle me something rotten.
I'll toodle right up, yeah.
Yes, goodness gracious me.
Oh, I'm still recording. I didn't realise I was recording this morning.
Lovely. Naughty, very
recording
naughty.
before I go toodle myself.
I love you all so much.
I love you too. Has anyone got any beers?
Lovely.